What's up, y'all? Straight to the point. Hit that like button and sub to the channel. Salute to the whole entire Lions Den. Yes, sir. We in here. Hope everybody feeling all right. And let's go ahead and get right to this, man. Lots to chop it up about, lots to talk about. Doing some things out of the norm. I'm not talking about every single little thing that's trending right now, but um, we do need to get into some conversation about two of these different subjects right here. Earlier I was discussing Zion Williamson, and as you know, y'all have to excuse me, my throat. As you know, Zion Williamson had came out, basically stated that he wasn't gonna play. He wasn't gonna play back to backs and all this other stuff that he said. And I was talking about Kawhi Leonard when talking about Zion because what I've always maintained is that Kawhi Leonard's his situation is a little bit different when we talk about injuries, things of that nature. What's up, Victor? How you doing, Jossie? As it pertains to injury, Kawhi's situation is a little bit different. That's why I don't go in on Khawii like other people do. Of course, everybody got their own opinions how they feel about Khawii. But one of the main reasons why I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Hope y'all doing all right. Y'all hit that like when y'all come in here. All right. Okay, I don't go that way, man. So I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna have to. I got to get you up out of here, man. But um, when it comes to Kawhi, you know, I've always said this, and I said this earlier too. A fully healthy Kawhi is the best player in the league, and when when Kawhi was fully healthy, wasn't having any problems, or I should say before his problems got progressively worse, I should say. Before his problems got progressively worse, Kawhi Leonard smokes pretty much all the players in this league. Okay? Kawhi was not. Hey, what's going on, Grayson? Kawhi was not the type to make any excuses. Kawhi went out there and he did his job. Kawhi was very, very simple, kept his game relatively simple. what you see is what you get. Kind of that Tim Duncanish type of feel. And yet and still he was winning. He was still winning. He wanted to do his own thing. You said, what time is it? Man, it's time to talk basketball, time to talk hoops. That's what we're talking right now. If you give Kawhi Leonard that are not degenerative, not progressively getting worse, without any of the other injuries that he sustained, Kawhi Leonard smokes everybody. Okay, and I know because I witnessed it. You know, this guy, we're talking about a guy that is a two-time champion, and Kawhi Leonard is actually what we're missing from the game. Now, I know he's playing and everything, and matter of fact, the other day he just had 27 points. So, you know, he's back to full strength. But you got to wonder now, as opposed to, you know, more back then, how's his body going to hold up? Are you having fun? I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming through, man. But Kawhi Leonard, man, I think he just gets a bad rap, particularly because of, you know, the whole load managing thing, and, you know, him sitting out, of course. But he's a player that I actually enjoy watching because, you know, we've been talking about how the ratings have gone down, you know, not much defense being played, and everybody just wants to shoot the three-point shot all the time, stuff like that, man. Well, Kawhi Leonard is pretty much 100% of what people, well, you know, a lot of guys want to see, and the vast majority of people are talking about when they mention what's wrong with the NBA. You know, Kawhi Leonard, he excelled on the defensive end. Guys talk about physicality, want to see defensive stuff. Kawhi Leonard is somebody that you did not want to have problems, you know, with his body and injuries and stuff like that, because he's a player that you want to see play and want to see excel, and a lot of guys that grew up watching the 80s and, you know, the 90s and 70s and all that, Kawhi Leonard is straight old school, man. And he smokes pretty much everybody, man. Like, and you got to think about it. He beat LeBron. And he beat the Warriors, man. Now, we know what happened. Not going to go through it, but nevertheless, he still won. He still won. And look, I'm on the fence with this, man. And I'm going to say this, right? If Kawhi Leonard, if they would have had KD, we can't just automatically just assume that, you know, they would have won. Now, 9 times out of 10, you know, they probably would have got the victory. But Kawhi Leonard was remarkable in that series, and then of course he had a good supporting cast too as well. I'm not gonna knock, you know, Gasol and Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, even Fred VanVleet. I'm not gonna knock them because the Raptors did come out and they did do their thing. But Kawhi Leonard was having throughout the entire playoffs, he showed you what type of player that he was, and you even started seeing it in San Antonio. At first, Kawhi Leonard was not known for his offense, but he worked and he got better, and through time, he was able to improve it. He kept his mouth shut and just went out there and he proved people wrong. And the thing about it is I can't wrap my mind around the fact that everybody wants to continue to try to criticize Kawhi Leonard, knowing damn well that he has a condition that can't get better. Now, I have said in the past, okay, maybe Kawhi should retire, because if it's not going to get any better and it's going to make him miss a ton of games, then you might as well just go ahead and enjoy life. You know, I don't want to see Kawhi having to sit out or everything because a talent like his needs to be on display. you know, his style of play needs to be on display. I enjoy watching Kawhi, and I enjoyed watching him destroy other superstars when it came to him playing the other guy, the elites and stuff like that. And then also, I also think about now that we're getting ready to come up with the All Star game. I think about that too. And Kawhi Leonard, him being an All Star and everything, even though he might have been an All Star, he still would have took the game relatively serious. I I think the All Star game, and this is kind of off the subject a little bit, but I'm gonna curl it back around in just a second. I think the All Star game needs to have guys in there that are serious and that do want to play and everything because okay, yeah, people want to see high flying and play little bit of tricks and stuff like that. But at the same time, people also do want you to play and they want to be competitive and stuff. And a guy like Kawhi, he doesn't have that type of game, like where he can do all these trick plays and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He's more serious when he plays, and I like that. I like that. I think that the All Star game needs to be a real ass game. Like that's what I think we're getting away from. It's gotten so bad. I think Victor Oladipo, he was like his suggestion for All Star Weekend would not even to even play basketball. He said his he feel like what everybody should do is find something else. I think he said something like archery or something like that, and I'm like, come on, man. Let's get you up out of here. No time for trolling. But I'm looking at these guys like, do y'all even want to play basketball? Kawhi Leonard, when he was healthy, Kawhi Leonard, before the knee problems and before he got progressively worse, Kawhi Leonard was about winning. He was about playing winning basketball. He was about um, sorry y'all, I'm up here driving trying to make. Kawhi Leonard brought that factor to the game where people could take the game serious. Like you knew that Kawhi Leonard he was about business when he stepped on the court. A lot of people don't really look at it. Like when you look at Kawhi, you look at a you look at a Kobe Bryant type. You look at an MJ type. You look at a Tim Duncan type. You look at those champions that truly won it. And I just think that Kawhi is what the game is missing. And I want Kawhi to get like a couple championships before he rides off in the sunset, because we all know that what has happened to him is very unfortunate and very unfair. But at the same token, you got to give him his credit, because he's still out there. He fought his way to get back, and see, that's what separates him. That's why I don't put him in the same class like a Zion or even a Joel Embiid. Now, I understand that Joel Embiid is dealing with a similar situation with his knee, except his has to do with the meniscus and it being torn. Of course, he's always got knee swelling. That's why he's not playing tonight. But I really do think that Kawhi Leonard does need to come back. He had got criticized in the beginning. I'm talking about his play and all that. People were saying they didn't really see him for defense and all this stuff. But I looked at Kawhi as a premier lockdown defender. He was tough to get by. He made it tough. He made it tough for, like, that shooting guard or that small forward position, whichever one, but mainly the three. But Kawhi Leonard can pretty much guard multiple positions. He's honestly, he's one of the reasons why I would like to bring hand checking back, because I believe that if hand checking was brought back and the physicality was brought back, oh man, you would have hell to pay having to try to go through a guy like a Kawhi Leonard. You would have hell to pay, because he's just not an easy guy that you're just gonna blow right past. And I think that the league needs more of that. The league needs more of that, where you know, more parity. You got to think about it. Kawhi Leonard won on LeBron and Curry's watch. He won on Curry and LeBron's watch, and actually beat both of them. He beat both of them. That's why when Isaiah will always brag about beating Jordan, beating Magic, and beating Bird, beating all of them. So Kawhi definitely has an upper hand. I mean, in the years that He was low managing, the knee. What it didn't seem that it was gonna possibly derail his career or anything, but he sat out, and of course, a lot of people, they had they stuff that they had to say about him. Hell, I'm guilty of it too. But I appreciate Kawhi. I appreciate him in this game. We need it. We need guys like Kawhi. We need guys like Derrick Rose. The NBA needs guys like that. And that's one of the things too that you have to like about Kawhi Leonard, and you have to like about guys like Derrick Rose and stuff. They didn't play like everybody else, and Kawhi doesn't play like everybody else. He's got his game is. I'm not gonna call it unorthodox, but I would say his game is very like I said earlier. It's very simple, and it doesn't need to be all flamboyant, but he will get up and he'll bang on you if he needs to, just to show you, okay, hey, look, I'm not just no bench player. I'm not just a good player. I know I am a great player. And that's what Kawhi brings to the game, man. That's what he brings to the game, man. But yeah, man, I think that Kawhi Leonard, man, he smokes everybody, man. He smokes everybody. And I believe if you dropped him in another era, he'll be just fine. Like if he played in the '80s, Kawhi Leonard would survive automatically, but just because of the style that he plays, he shoots a lot of mid-range shots. you know, he knows where you're going before you even try to go and try to get there. He knows where you're going. And Kawhi doesn't need to be all in the video, singing, dancing all the time. Nah. Now, let me talk about Pat Mahomes. Now, we got the Super Bowl that's getting ready to come up. We got the Super Bowl that's getting ready to come up. Um, got the Chiefs versus the Eagles. But the big talk, man, is the quarterback position. And of course, Pat Mahomes. And there's another thing: Pat Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. They both from Texas, so gonna be an interesting Super Bowl between two teams. I don't think that this is gonna be any type of blowout or anything. But having said all of that, the hate for Pat Mahomes is ridiculous, man. Like, I really do see a lot of people cannot stand Pat Mahomes for some strange reason. what is going on up here. They do not like Pat Mahomes at all. And all Pat Mahomes wants to do is just pretty much play football and win. Even though the last his numbers, especially in the regular season, might not resonate with a football savant, with somebody that knows the game and stuff. The first thing they'll say is like, "Well, man, he does, you know what I'm saying, during the playoffs, but during the regular season, he's not really all that." And I just said that the past couple of seasons. You got to think about it, man. If he had a an offensive line that he wasn't trying to always scramble from, because you got to think about people were hurt. A lot of people got to understand, man. If you don't have a offensive line that blocks for you, like, and I'm talking about that's dependable, you could go from looking like the best quarterback ever or the best running back ever to one of the worst QBs in the league. And that's the thing about Saquon Barkley. He's blessed to have an O line that's going to block for him and make life easy. And now he can do what he wants to do. And now that he has the offensive line, those holes, where those holes used to be clogged up, or could barely get through. Like now, Saquon is playing like as if he had the offensive line that a Dallas Cowboys had when they were winning championships. That's the type of offensive line it's looking like he has. But to get back to Pat Mahomes, people are gonna be petty once he wins. They're gonna be petty. You're gonna have people saying, "I can already hear it now." I'm already getting ready for it, man. I'm already getting ready for it. I'm getting ready for people to, make all these excuses if they win. They're gonna talk about the refs, all this stuff, And I've even asked a couple people, "Well, why are you going? Why are you going with the Eagles?" And they'll tell me that the Eagles don't rely, heavily on their officiating. Just making up all this stuff. But we can't act like Pat Mahomes did not come in and they were talking about him. He's only, you know, a few years in. He hasn't even played 10 seasons yet. I think he's played 7 seasons. And it's like everybody wants to call him everything except a child of the Most High. So people are going to be petty. People are going to say what they say. If he wins, my whole mentality is just go ahead, shake hands. Until next time. Oh man, something bad happened over here. Ooh. Oh snap! Real bad accident, man. These people driving crazy out here, man. People driving crazy. Planes crashing. Had a plane crash that happened in Philly about a couple hours ago. Yeah, everything taking place. Then a plane crash over, over there in D.C. But we gotta be real, man. I'm being transparent when it comes to Pat Mahomes, man. Nobody's gonna want. There, like this. This is the thing I don't get, man. People spent all of their time and their energy, praising Tom Brady. Uh, I've always said that Tom Brady is the best quarterback and everything. I've gave him his flowers. You know what I'm saying? I've said it time and time again. But at the same time, as much as people sit up here and don't want to admit it, Pat Mahomes is getting more slander and more hate than Brady got. When Brady had went through the little, the Spygate and that situation and the Flakegate, all this other stuff. When he went through that situation and then came back and was able to win still, people were amazed by that. They were amazed by that. What's up with it, the real? They were definitely amazed by that. And they celebrated that. But Pat Mahomes, it's like they don't want to give Pat Mahomes, they don't want to give him no kind of credit at all. They don't want to, they don't want him to get 3 straight, which I think is a hell of a accomplishment, man. I mean, if you could do 3 straight in anything, if you could 3-peat in anything, man, to me, that automatically gives you a nod for being in condition of a dynasty. And this is another thing too. Why wouldn't you appreciate a guy like Pat Mahomes? Why you got to be petty? He's playing without Travis Kelce being who he is, and he's still able to get it done. Like, now that they're at this point, and let's not forget too. This is another thing too. Let's not forget how poorly last season the Chiefs played in the regular season. Let's not forget that. I think people tend to forget that. How Pat Mahomes won one season, he had set a record for interceptions in the season. So, do Pat Mahomes got his flaws? Yeah. Yeah, he definitely got his flaws, but people gonna be petty regardless. I can already hear it. Listen, it might be bad for him. So if I'm Pat Mahomes, what I'm doing is I'm already preparing myself for people to be negative about this shit. Really, Pat Mahomes, they're it's like they're making the Philadelphia Eagles the heroes. I mean, you got the eagle, the ball, the eagle, representing America and stuff like that. And then you got the Kansas City Chiefs, looking like this villainized team, and I don't get it. These guys did nothing wrong. Doc, we can't help that Taylor Swift invested money into this team. And as a matter of fact, one of my friends who passed away, she she was affiliated with the Chiefs organization. I'm not gonna put her information out there and stuff, but well, worked for the Kansas City Chiefs. I put it to you that way. So they're making it like the Chiefs are a good, wholesome environment, which I have no doubt in my mind that it probably is. All of these guys get along. But yet and still people gonna be petty because they don't want Mahomes to win. Like you should want Mahomes to win. And that's all the energy I've heard. Oh yeah, I want the Chiefs to lose. Oh yeah, I want the Chiefs to lose. I can't stand the Chiefs. Then you know what always comes up, the refs and stuff like that, man. I'm like, I wish they'd have pulled out some of these guys in the archives that all they did was make excuses when they were winning and say the refs. I wish they would pull that up in the archives because yeah, you'll see questionable calls and stuff like that, but it's always something when it comes to the Chiefs. I'm talking about as far as hating goes. Nah, they've been winning fair and square, man. So straight to the point. I'm out, y'all.